Hi, this is highwithoutcoke and welcome back to my channel. The long-awaited 3.26 finally happened. Cheers! Flameblast of Celerity receives a massive buff in this patch, and so I had decided to start with it. Before I got Transfigured Gem, Flameblast of Celerity, I leveled with regular Flameblast. To be honest, it didn't feel that great. Regular Flameblast has a maximum of 10 stages. Even with faster cast time, which is 0.2 sec, it still requires 2 sec to reach max stages, which in my opinion is pretty slow. I managed to reduce the cast time to 1 sec, still the clear speed was mediocre, as you can see in this clip. The totems automatically release the skill at max stages. While this guarantees that the skill will always have the max damage possible, the damage is delayed, which not only results in mediocre clear speed, but also endanger you because you have to stand among the monster packs longer than you normally would. So what I did was to equip a high block shield and spec into block nodes. In this clip, I have around 50% block chance for both attack and spell block, and I plan to have more. This greatly improves my survivability, and I think it's worth the investment. Positioning is also very important. After all, this is a totem build. Leveling was alright because I just dropped the totems and ran past the mobs. I finished the campaign at level 64, so the XP gain wasn't too bad despite the mediocre clear. Before getting Flameblast Gem in Act 3, I leveled with Holy Flame Totem, Flame Wall, and Rolling Magma. Spell Totem can be bought in Act 1, so I leveled that support gem, and then once I got Flameblast, I immediately switched to it. For people who want to play Flameblast of Celerity in solos I've found but can't stand Flameblast, you can always use other fire spells. For example, Blazing Salvo, which you can start using in Act 1 until you get the Transfigured Gem. I switched to Flameblast of Celerity when I started doing yellow maps. I can clearly feel the cast time difference from the sound of the explosions. It is much less clunky to play compared to normal Flameblast. The clear speed was decent, not great, but decent. Flameblast of Celerity only has a maximum of 3 stages. Even if the cast time is slightly nerfed from 0.25 sec to 0.3 sec, it still requires less than 1 sec to reach max stages. If you stack cast speed from your gears and passive tree, you'll be able to reduce the channel time even further. So far, I've had a great time playing Flameblast of Celerity. This build is super easy to start with because it doesn't require any specific gears. I'm now at level 84, and the only thing I've bought is the Transfigured Gem. Despite using crappy gears, Flameblast of Celerity still delivers pretty good damage. Single target is not an issue. This is also true for Flameblast. Moving on to POB, for those who are familiar with it, you can skip this part. POB, short for Path of Building, is a third-party tool which is used to calculate the damage, defense number, and plan our builds accordingly. When you get a POB link, you can paste it here and import it. Then you'll be able to view other people's builds, including their passive tree, gem, and gear setup. Some people have important notes under here, for example leveling tips, the build concept, when and why you need to take a specific keystone, etc. I don't have anything here, but it's always good to check it out. Config is the most confusing part, but it's actually for conditional damage and defense. For example, my Ascendancy allows me to gain Arcane Surge buff when my totems hit with a spell. So I have to take this if I want to get an accurate damage calculation. As usual, I have my passive tree at different points, so if you have no idea how to level, or you just want to turn your brain off, you can follow the way I build my passive tree. If you don't want to follow, a useful rule of thumb is to take whatever nodes you're lacking. If you lack damage, take more damage nodes. If you lack survivability, take more life. The active skill is this one here, under early mid-game. Only 4 support gems because realistically you're not gonna have a 6 link until much later unless you get really lucky. I have 3 different gear sets: early game, mid game, and end game. When you're ready to upgrade to your endgame gears, you can untake these and take these instead. Alright, early game version consists of gears with only 3 to 4 modes. Realistically speaking, when you just reach endgame, you're poor as hell, so it's very unlikely to have good gears. We want Flameblast to reach max stack as fast as possible, so stacking cast speed is the way to go. You can get it from your weapon and your jewelry. As for your shield, get one with the highest block chance you can find, preferably above 40%. Some life and resistances are a bonus. Equip Tempest Shield as soon as you get it in Act 2. Combined with these 2 clusters, which you would get later, leveling and mapping should be quite safe unless you play recklessly. You may be wondering why I didn't just use glancing blows. From my experience, unless you have other sources of damage mitigation or reduction, and also high life recovery, you're gonna die more with glancing blows allocated. This is because when you get high block chance, you'll be blocking really often, and for every block you take 65% of damage. If you block consecutively and you can't recover your life fast enough, you're going to die. As for the aura setup, vitality is the last priority. Only equip it when you move on to mid-game gears. Lightning Golem is useful when you don't have a lot of cast speed, or you can drop it if it dies a lot. I have it because I want a little buddy to follow me around because I play solo mostly. As for the rest of your gears, just focus on fulfilling your attributes and capping your resistances. Chaos resistance is hard to cap at the moment, but you should at least bring it to positive. If you just want to earn some currency and switch to the next build, mid-game version is where you should stop. Here you need to get your Eldritch Implicits and also some mana so you can finally equip Vitality. You can craft some cheap mods, for example block chance on your body armor. These gears should allow you to do most endgame contents, excluding tier 17 maps, uber bosses, and some hard invitations. Alright, endgame version. This is for the people who really want to invest in the build. I'm not telling you to achieve these gears right away, but you can slowly upgrade to it. There's an easy way to scale the damage of Flameblast of Celerity, and that is by stacking gem quality. One quality now provides 2% more spell damage at each stage, meaning 6% more spell damage at max stages. We can use units like Diala's Malefaction and Ashes of the Stars, and also enhance support to increase the gem quality. If you socket your skill gem into a green socket, the skill gem will gain an extra 30% quality. Ashes of the Stars also gives 30% gem quality. I think this combo will provide the highest damage. However, I decided not to use Ashes of the Stars because I wanted to equip Leadership's Prize for better defense. With Leadership's Prize, we can inflict Scorch, Brittle, and Sap. Scorch lowers enemies' elemental resistances, Brittle increases critical strike chance, while Sap causes enemies to deal less damage. We lose the ignite damage, but honestly, it's negligible. Summon Skeeter bots helps to chill and shock the enemies. Flameblast of Celerity doesn't have built-in more ailment damage mod, so we can just focus on the hit damage. Conflux ensures 100% chance for all hits to inflict Scorch, Brittle, and Sap. However, whether the element is strong enough to apply its effect depends on the skill damage, and also the multitude of non-damaging ailment effects. So, to achieve max effect, getting a Militant Fate with increased effect of non-damaging ailments is really important. Besides this, we get 50% increased effect from Critical Mastery, and 20% from ailment effect node. Militant Fate also grants Inner Conviction, which gives 3% more spell damage per power charge. Since we have 5 permanent power charges, this is 15% more spell damage. Cast speed is important, so we get Onslaught from Medium Cluster Jewel. For Endgame Flameblast of Celerity, these are the support gems I picked. Empower support is actually more powerful than increased critical damage support, but it's obviously more expensive. Concentrated effect support is an option if you're okay with the clear. Awaken Fire Penetration support actually gives the least damage, but I think it's mandatory, considering we're not gonna curse every single mob while mapping. You can play around and see which ones you like the best. When we have enough max fire resistance and life regen, we want to use Righteous Fire for more spell damage. We can get life regen from Vitality Aura, our Ascendancy, Watcher's Eye, and Gears, especially gloves and boots. Alright, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the new league and see you next time.